Hello, and welcome to Cherokee Nation Community and Cultural Outreach. Today we're going to do a webinar on PowerPoint. This is part of our Technology Thursday webinar series, and today is April 13th. It's about 6 p.m. and it's all about PowerPoint. This is my favorite program in all of Microsoft. So thank you very much for joining us today or this evening. And with that, we're going to get started. Let me just reduce. We're going to move around the screen quite a bit, and I'll try to move slowly for you and explain what's going on. We're going to watch a few videos. And there's the, down here on the cursor is the web link that we'll be using. It is part of a free learning series on PowerPoint, and this is 2013 PowerPoint. So I'm going to reduce this slide. And right here is the website I was talking about. Up here you'll see up here on the top left, you'll see the actual link to it. So it's GCFLEARN, that's learn, and then free, FREE.org, and then you backslash to PowerPoint 2013, and getting to know the PowerPoint is the first part. So with the introduction, it's basically telling us that it's going to be a slideshow with some videos, and this is a Microsoft product. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start with a video. Hopefully it kicks right in for us. If not, we're just going to be patient. You're going to have some silence here, and maybe the screen might move around a little bit, but hopefully everything works out well for us on this. Just give it just a second to load up. My internet is not extremely fast, so it might take just a second to get it to load up. A little thing about PowerPoint is that it's what you use in a presentation, but you can also make scrolling movies of different photographs that you've taken, and you need to put it up for a Christmas holiday, or to show how you built if you're doing a community project, like building a community building. Excuse me, you can actually take different photographs and load it in here, and then set it into a slideshow, and I'll show you how to do all that. It's pretty interesting. And my video doesn't want to load up for some reason. Let's give it one more minute to see what we can get. It's still not going. Sometimes you gotta stop these things and restart them. Let's give it another shot. And it just doesn't want to load up for some reason. So, well, we'll get back to the video. Hopefully it'll kick in here in a minute. But talk to you a little bit about PowerPoint. And as you see, we're just going to kind of scroll up and down the screen here, if I can. Now my screen is locked. Well, the page is rebooting up here. So give it just a second. Always some technical difficulties when you're doing these and using some Wi-Fi sources. I'm just going to click on it and reboot it. Hopefully it'll kick in. There we go. We're going to reload this page real quick, and hopefully it'll start working. I guess the video delayed it for us. Just doesn't want to load at all. It worked perfectly before I started the video. I apologize for this. just our internet is moving really slow. But I'm going to click down here to a PowerPoint, and the bottom of my slide is where I would open. Oh, there it comes. See, as soon as I think about doing something else, it kicks in. So, okay, so this is what the free website's going to look like. It's GCF learnfree.org, and as you see, it's going to tell us to create a new PowerPoint. You go to the File menu, and it's giving us an example there. The File tab, I said menu, but the File tab is always located on the top left of your screen. And when you click on that tab, it's going to give you this selection, and I'm just kind of moving my cursor around it. It's going to give you a selection to open a new slide. So it's going to look like number 2 here, and it's going to say new. So you'll have info and new and then open. So you're going to click on new, and then you're going to get, just like this screenshot right here, you're going to get a whole bunch of samples, and then here you get some categories of some searches. So it's really cool, the different features it has within the program. And normally I just use a blank template, and then I can add these later. But we'll work through some of these, and I'll show you some examples. But once you click it, then you just hit it to open, like it's saying right there, and that's called the backstage view, and it will open. And I'm just going to scroll down real slowly, and when you hit the open, it's going to say, do you want to download it sometimes, and you're going to say yes. Sometimes you just need to browse and find one that you've already started on because you've saved it, and we're going to talk about how to save one here in just a little bit. But I'm not going to go through all of this part because that's when you've already saved one and you're opening an old one. So we're just going to go down here, because you can see in the slides that they've put up where they've opened some and saved them under different names, like regional sales report or new employee orientation or company workflow. That's some of them that they've saved. When they say to pin it, then the pin is actually just how you've saved the presentation. So, and when you use the pin icon, as they show right there, it just kind of locks it into your PowerPoints that you use frequently. So that's what a pin is. You can always unpin just by clicking the little tack, like they've done right there. And when the tack is going to the left or to the right, I believe almost always to the left, like that, like it's holding it up, and that is pinned. And then when it's pointing to a downward position, then it's showing that it's unpinned. So we'll scroll through this. This is one that they've pinned, and they're going to open it. And then right here, using the templates, this is what I talked about earlier, where you have lots of different samples of some PowerPoints that they've already created, and all you have to do is add the words and the pictures. So you would just hit new, and then through the search, this is suggested searches, you would just click the category, and then it would open up a banded slide like that. So, and these are some of the other templates that you would see in there. And you can even do calendars, all kinds of things like that. And then just to preview it, you just hit that create button. So you're going to pick the one. See, they picked the one up here that said title layout. Excuse me. Excuse me again. And then it will show it right there, and then you just hit that create button. These stars right here, that just means the ratings. That means people have liked them. It shows how big the file is going to be by that download size. That one's not too big, so it's pretty good. So you just select it, and basically it opens up. It opens up to where you can need it. And then you just use, this is called Compatibility Mode, and Compatibility Mode is the transitions, and we're going to go over all these tabs that are crossed here because it basically starts with File, then Home, then Insert, Design, Transition, Animation, Slideshow, Review, and View. And I'm going to go through each of those tabs and show you how they work. But when you're in the transition slide, transition means from one window slide to the next window slide. So how is it going to open? And see right here they have clicked none, but I'm going to show you how to put different transitions in there. And it's a cool feature because it actually can add some more graphic design to your PowerPoint. So we'll go over that, and then we'll also go over how to convert a presentation into different formats so that people can watch them, or that you can save them certain ways so you can send them easily through through your email, or you can print them in different ways. As you know, here at CCO, we use PowerPoint quite a bit when we do our trainings. And like last Saturday when I did my training, I had about 130 slides in my PowerPoint, believe it or not. We did a 6-hour training, and some of the slides were duplicated. Some of the slides were, I didn't use a transition so much because I use a remote click that I hold in my hand because I'm talking through the presentation. But I'll show you how to do the transition to where you can use the remote click and it'll still do the transition, or it'll be timed. So you can just time your photographs to show. All right, so right here, that just showed you how to convert it into different saved projects onto your computer, and we'll go through all that. I usually hit the Save As button and give it a new name, and I put it in a certain folder, and I'll show you how to create all that. So it talks about a little bit of the challenges. You know, it says create a new blank presentation. We're going to do that, and it's also it's telling us to open one. We probably won't open one unless you want to see some of them that I've created, and then how to pin it and stuff like that. Pinning's pretty simple. I don't hardly ever pin one. I usually just save it into folders, and that way I can find them relatively easily, and I'll show you how to walk through all that. So not too difficult, but with what we talked about, I'm going to go to another page now just to kind of continue what this learning series is telling you, and then we're going to go into, and we're going to use all the tools we just talked about into actually creating one. So I'm going to click on this next tab on the top of my screen because I've already got it open, and hopefully it will load. Yeah, it's there it goes. So it is loading right now. Okay, so now this is called creating and opening a presentation. And again, we're in 2013 Microsoft PowerPoint. There is a new version out. It's called 2016. The features are not that much different. I've been using PowerPoint since I believe '06. So they just, every time they upgrade them a little bit, they might give you a new feature. But basically, if you know the basics of any of the Microsoft programs, as far as the tabs on the top and as far as the fonts, nothing else really changes. PowerPoint is just a little more graphically designed. It's like Publisher. If you're familiar with Publisher, then it's pretty simple to understand how PowerPoint works. So with this, they're just talking about how to open again the blank presentation. Again, it's giving us the same information here. It's saying go to the File tab on the top. See, they have it highlighted in orange with the cursor there. They're saying go into the File tab and on top. They're saying in the next slide, they're saying go into the New, and then you can choose the template, or you can choose the blank presentation. I always choose the blank, and then if I want a template behind it, I'll show you how you can lay that in again, and it's pretty neat. It also will go over that opening again. We're not gonna just keep going over the opening part. I think it's pretty self-explanatory how to open one. But we'll scroll through here. It showed about the templates. We already kind of went all over that. And then the create part, we went over that. Then the transition, and then finally on the converting part, which you go back to the File tab. So right here it's just talking File tab and Transition tab. As you see, there's a whole lot more tabs involved in creating your PowerPoint. So we'll just scroll down a little bit more. Basically, this just repeated everything we went over in the first one. I'm not sure why, but let me click on the next one because this is going to talk about how to save your PowerPoint. I'm just opening a new page on my tabs up here, and hopefully it will open. There it goes. So saving and sharing, we're gonna work on one of those live here in just a minute. But basically, what it's telling you, again, you go to that File tab right there. It's always on the top left of any Microsoft program. And as I do, it says Save As. And you see it has Info, New, Open, Save, and Save As. Now, it's kind of confusing. You say, well, why wouldn't you just hit Save? Well, you can. Save is just as good, but when you hit just the word Save and it doesn't have the Save As, then it just puts it in your computer, and it puts it in the PowerPoint program in your computer. But if you hit Save As, then you can place it in exactly where you want it, inside your computer or on a external USB drive. So it's the way I always do it. I always go Save As, and I always create a folder, and I label that folder like PowerPoint for certain training. I'll give it a title, or photos of a certain thing. So Save As is where I go, and then you would hit Computer, and then right here, see where it says Desktop or My Documents? That's normally where I would put it. See, they already have created a folder, and they called it Add Works. So that's a folder that they personally created, and then it will open up, and you can save it directly into that folder. It makes it easier to find, and just think of it just like a file cabinet, because if you label the tabs in your file cabinet and then you have files within that file, that's basically what you do, and it's no different as a file cabinet. So here they're just showing you that you name it. So they put it in this file that they created. See right there where it says New Folder? Once you go Save As and you they hit Documents, and then they created a new folder. They called that folder Add Works, and with that, then they opened it up, and these are the other things that they have in that folder. They have a company workflow and the orientation and a sales report, but this one they're going to call Client Presentation. So they gave it a whole new title. Title right here on the file name, and it's in this folder within this folder, just like a file cabinet. Think of it just like a file cabinet. So, and when it says Save As Type, well, right here you save it as the PowerPoint type. Now that'll be automatic. You can change that to different file types. PowerPoint will not convert to a lot of file types, but it'll be by default it will save it as a PowerPoint presentation. And then basically you just right here you hit the save button, and it saves it right in that folder, just like a file cabinet. And then here's where it's talking about you can make a copy of it. Basically, if you want to make a copy of a file, I'm going to scroll back up and just kind of show you. See, if I had opened this file, this folder, AdWorks, and I wanted to make a copy, I wasn't in the Save As, but I was in that folder, then I would just right click on that file that says Company Workflow. I'd right click, and then I'd get a drop down box that would say, what do you want to do? Basically, cut, copy, duplicate, whatever, or even delete. And if you right click on it, it'll open that drop down box, and with that you just hit copy, and then you can open it up and transfer it into another folder. So that's a quick shortcut. Just right click on it, it gives you a drop down box. So this is just telling you how to save it as a copy, which we kind of did. You can always give it a new name. Normally when I'm creating a PowerPoint that's going to be quite large and I'm doing a lot of editing to it along the way, then the first time I save it, I'll save it with the title, and I'll put a number 1, a numeral 1 after it. And then the next time I open it up and I start to do some more editing, I will save it again as a Save As, but I'll delete the numeral 1 and I'll put a numeral 2. Why do I do that? Because sometimes it is a computer and sometimes you get glitches, and sometimes it just will delete certain things. So I always kind of safeguard myself, and as I'm working on it, I will save it along the way and give it a new number, and it will always be in that folder. And then I can go back and say, wow, this is missing, so I'll go back and click on the one that I did earlier, and hopefully it'll be there, and then I can just export it out of that. So this here is going to talk a little bit about the options, which is on that drop down menu. And sorry, my allergies are just going nuts and my voice is going in and out. I'm going to take a quick drink of water and hopefully that'll go away. Okay, so in options, it's just showing you that you can hit the save, and it's a control feature, so it will just automatically, see how it says save to computer by default. That's all options does. It's just a control feature that you can do on the back end of your computer, and it will automatically save as a default to your computer. I don't use options that much. Really rarely do I use the option tab. I just do a save as, and I control it always by myself. So how do you auto recover? What does auto recover mean? Well, that's what I was saying. It is a computer, and sometimes you do get glitches. Maybe you had a power outage and all of a sudden your computer shut off, or maybe all of a sudden your computer decided to update or something like that, and it had to shut down all your programs, and you were right in the middle of it and you didn't save it. Well, your computer's built in to always do, and PowerPoint is built in to always do this auto recovery, and it basically will save it inside your computer as something you were working on, and it'll give it a name if you haven't already given it a name. So you can always kind of go back and you can look at those auto recovered ones that you had open and click on it, and then quickly after you opened it and you know that that's the one you were working on, go ahead and hit the save as, go to file, hit the save as button, and give it a name and save it where you want to be able to find it again. That's just always a safeguard, but inside the program is this auto recovery mechanism that will do that for you. It won't do it continuously unless you have it set in your options to save every 5 minutes or save every 30 minutes. You can set all that up in the back side of your computer, and typically most new computers already have that built in. Say in 2013 and 2016 of PowerPoint does have that built in. So if you're using an older program, then you'll want to go back every 30 minutes or whatever and do a save as, and all it does is just update it. And when you bring it up under the same name in that folder, the file name is the same name in that folder, and you hit the save, then or the save as, and then it's going to ask you a question. You already have this in your computer. Do you want to replace it with this new one? And that's your choice you need to make. And that's where I said sometimes I just give it a numeral afterwards, and that way I have several versions of how I was working on that PowerPoint along the way, and that seems to save me in the long run, because you just never know when you're going to have a computer glitch. Okay, so this is about exporting a presentation. Now, I do export a presentation, and there's several ways to do it. So when you typically, by default, when you typically do a save or a save as on a PowerPoint presentation, you give it its name, and remember I said by default it saves it as a PowerPoint file, and that's called a .pptx. That's the file type. You'll see it written right here in the dark bold, .pptx. That's what a PowerPoint presentation file looks like with the name of it before it. But there's other ways to do it, and here at CCO, and I've always had to convert it to what you call a PDF. And you've heard the term a lot. And what is a PDF? Well, it's just a pretty way of making it all look like one continuous flowing presentation. So PDF is really super easy to send by email. Really super easy to print, or if you just want to send it to someone else or put it on a USB so that someone can proofread it, it's a simple way to do it. It's also a way to do your printing if you're going to print three on a page with some lines so that they can write notes next to the image. Then that's a way to do it there too. You can do a lot more once you convert it to a PDF when you're doing your print. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then you can package it for a CD. A lot of people don't use CDs anymore. We use what's called USB. They're called thumb drives in slang terms. And those are those little jump sticks, those little black sticks that we call them thumb drives. Jump sticks, we call them USBs. They've got a lot of different names, but basically it is just a little mini chip that you can slide into your computer and you can save right to it. It works just like a file cabinet too. It's just an external file cabinet from your computer, and you can save the PNG. You can save the PNG is for a graphic design, but you can save the PDF. You can save the PPTX, however you want, right on that thumb drive, and you can also print from it. And there's, to save as a PNG, that means you're saving it as a picture. PNG means you're saving it as a high image, a high resolution picture. And a lot of other ways you can do it is you can save it in the older version of PowerPoint, and that would be 97 to 2003. Hard to believe PowerPoint's been around since 1997, and it's probably when I started playing with it first. Yeah, it's come a long way since then. You couldn't do hardly anything with it then other than put some words in it. But basically, if you want to export it into the older version of PowerPoint, then you would go to that File tab and you just scroll down and pass all of this and go to that Export tab right there. And when you get that Export tab, it's going to open up this drop down box, and here's all the features you can do. You can create a video, you can save it for a CD presentation. That's that little shiny disc. You can create the handouts, and you can also save it to a different file type. And that's what they're talking about there for. You can export it to older versions of PowerPoint. And that's what they're talking about there. And here's just kind of an image of how to do that. So, not too complicated. Everything works the same in Microsoft as far as how you do all this. So basically, when you do the save as, just remember you're creating it in your computer. This is your computer. If you would click on that, then you would get all of this. But inside your computer, you have documents or you have desktop. And then there you would create a folder name. That's this one right here. And inside that folder, then they named theirs AdWorks. So the AdWorks is located inside the documents on the computer. Basically, the computer is the jumbo file cabinet. The documents is the folder, the big folder that's inside there. Then AdWorks is the next folder that's inside there. And then a file goes inside of that. So, and then you just hit the save button. It's really not too difficult. So, and I'll walk you through all that. Here they're showing how to save it as a PDF. This is the drop down menu. Remember I said by default it saves everything as a PPTX. That's PowerPoint presentation. And that automatically come up and save it as that. But a lot of times, especially me, I save it as a PDF. And that's so I can mail it or I can print it in different formats. So, and then if you want to share it, you do the same thing. You just go to that file, you go down to share, and this next image is going to show you how to share it. And it's not too hard. You just invite people to watch it. It's kind of fun to do. And you can actually give it a link, and that way you can load it into YouTube, and you can load it into a website, or you can load it into your Facebook. That would be that link right there. post it on social network. That's just a quick way to share it right to your Facebook page. So if you are having an event at your community building and you took pictures and you created the PowerPoint and now you just want to share it with your social media, well, that's a quick and easy way to do it. So you just go to that drop down menu. Let me scroll up and show you. You go to that drop down menu again, so you would hit the File tab at the top left, and then you would just go down to the Share, and with that it would open up this box. Let me scroll up now. It would open up this box right here, and these are the options you can do. So not too hard to do at all. And PowerPoint is just really fun. Like I said, it is my favorite Microsoft product. Of course, I'm very graphically designed, so right now I'm going to click down here at the bottom of my tab because I have the PowerPoint, and I just save these. I pin these to my bottom of my computer, and these are the things that I use quite a bit. So I have one created, which you saw earlier. I'm just clicked on it. I left clicked. Just about every time I say click on it, that's going to be a left click button on your mouse. And then other ways you can do is a right click, and when you right click, you're normally going to get a drop down menu. But if you left click, then you're advancing it to the next stage of what that image is going to be able to do. So here's what I created just to open up this this webinar. So as you see on the left, and I just did this with a blank page, and as you see on the left is my different slides, right? On the left is my different slides, and I'm just putting my cursor over them, and the one that's highlighted in orange is the one I have open on the big screen right here on the right that you're seeing. So, and this is where I would work on the left if I wanted just to click through, and we're going to see these slides later, but I just wanted to show you that is once, I just use this to open the presentation, and if you left click, then I could go to the different slides. So I'm going to left click on number 1 slide, and voila, it just takes me right there to that slide. So with that, I'm going to show you how to create a new PowerPoint. So we have PowerPoint open. So as it told us earlier, it said go to the top File menu. So I'm going to click, which when I say click always means left click on your mouse. So I'm clicking on File, and there it gave me that drop down menu that to ask me what I want to do. Well, actually I want to create a new PowerPoint. So you see the word new, and as I move my cursor over it, it highlights what I'm asking it to do. So I'm going to highlight that new and left click, and there it is. That's when it said what kind of presentation do you want to open? And remember, it told us that there's a blank presentation, or you can hear some that they've already pre-selected for you, and I'm just kind of putting my cursor over it and highlighting different ones just to show you what I'm talking about. But right here where it says, there's this box right here, and then right here it says suggested, and it has presentations, business, industry, education, labels, charts, and personal stuff. So with that, let's create something then personal. So I'm going to click on this one. I just see how it gives me when I'm off of it with my cursor, I have an arrow, but when I go over that, I get a hand. That means, hey, you want to click through that, and when you hit the left side of your mouse, it will click through. And now it's searching for those. It's going to take a second. Now, typically you'll need to be connected to your internet because it'll give you more options. Sometimes within your PowerPoint it will have some, but most of the time it's going to have more options if you're connected to the internet. So yes, you can create business cards in here, but it's PowerPoint, so why would you want to do that? I would save that for Publisher. You can also do calendars in here, and that's a good way to scroll through, especially during the holiday seasons. You can create a PowerPoint with your calendar and different photos of last year's events, and kind of highlight it, and then you can make it scroll and play on a TV or a monitor, and it tells people the different things that are coming up this year. So that's a fun one to do. Also, these are just designs. Now when you pick one, it's going to walk you through. Like this one says Dad's tie design. That doesn't mean Dad has anything to do with it. That just means the design that they've built into it. So, and it's always going to give you a title page. That's where it says title layout. And then if you were doing a business one, it's going to walk you through different graphs that you could put in there and all that. You don't have to use everything that's in it, but it's pretty helpful, to walk you through if you're not sure how to build the PowerPoint into the program you want. Now, real quick, I want to take you to the right side of the screen. The right side of the screen is very cool because this is a quick way to get to different kind of PowerPoint slides. You said we went into personal over here and we put it in that box, but over here, if I wanted to do something different like education, then I would just left click. See, I have the hand, and you just left click, and now it's going to open me some education templates. And see, it used some of the same, but it used a whole lot of different too. So like right here's a really interesting one. It's called Women's History Month Presentation. I mean, you can use that for a whole lot of different reasons. This one here is just about pictures. You can use that for your community. And up here is about a graduation. We saw that in the personal one too. And then you can also create flyers and then put different screenshots after it, and then there's the calendar. So just really neat ways to do it. Another one is holiday. I'm over here again on the right side of the screen. I'm going to left click on the mouse and it's going to give me holiday ones. So it didn't give me a whole lot, but see, it says I can research in other applications. So in Word there's a whole lot, and then in Publisher is some more. But we're not going to jump to those because that's not really our intent, because we're in PowerPoint and we're trying to create a presentation. So I'm going to go back to the personal one because I think that was probably the one that had a, okay, now see, I have too many of them open, so I'm going to go over here and see I've got a little X next to education, so I'm going to click on that X and it just will delete it. And again, I'm going to click on the X because I don't want the holiday. I'm just going to delete it, and now it's just going to give me personal again. Voila, there it is. Alright, so this one's called Natural Living Presentation. Never been in it before, but let's see what it's all about. So as you see, I left clicked on the image and it's kind of give me a little bit about what it's about over here, and about how it's the colors and the different slides it could give me, bullet lists, photos, captions, even a sample chart, stuff like that. This is what the cover page is going to look like. And then right here, oh, this is the file size. That one's pretty big. And then right here it says create. So if I left click on create, it will start to open it for me. Now again, I've never been in this slide. I just wanted to do it to show you all the features it gives you. So again, it's already put in an image that you can keep. And if you don't want to keep that image, you just simply left click and you can load a different image in it, or you can move that image around by holding your left mouse, your left key down on your mouse pad, and you get those little 4 arrows and then you just drag it. So, but I'm going to leave it in place. It looks pretty good. I like the image, so I'm just going to leave it. Left click out of there, and voila, the picture is going to stay right where it was. Now it says title layout. Well, I definitely want a different name for it. So how do I change that? Well, you can do it 2 ways. I left clicked on it and you say it gave me a bar there. Now I can just backspace on my keypad and it just takes it away, Or I can hold the left side of my mouse down and drag over it, and it highlights it like that, and then I can just type right in it. I don't have to hit delete, I don't have to hit backspace, I can just type right in it. So let's say fall fun. Okay, so we're calling this fall fun because there's a bunch of leaves there. I don't know if leaves and picking up leaves is a lot of fun, but that's what we're going to call it. Okay, see, it says it has subtitle. So again, left click on that box, and see, it gave me a whole box here of stuff I can type in. I'm not going to type that many words, and this has already chose the font that I'm using. And anytime you're questioning what font am I in, it's always listed right up here on the top of your bar, and it's going to say that, and you can always click right here and change the font. You can change the size, and you can change the color, and you can make it bold, and you can italicize it, or you can underline it, or you can even shadow it. Those are some pretty cool tools just right there, just on font. And fonts can be really fun. They can really push an image across just the way you design them, just like a photograph does. So, okay, so I'm back down here in the subtitle box. That's a text box that they've already placed in this PowerPoint for me. So again, I could backspace and then retype, or I can just hold the left side of my mouse down and drag over it, and it turns it gray. Another way I can do it is just position my cursor right over the word, and then double click on the left side of my mouse, and see, it also grayed it. It gave me a toolbox where I can change the font or anything like that. I can center it, I can bold it, I can even tab space it over. But right now I'm just going to put in the words. So we called it fall fun. So let's call this fall fun. Let's call this today's projects. Now in PowerPoint, you got to kind of push grammar out the door, because I know typically you would start the first letter of the sentence with a capital, and then you would just write in regular small fonts or small letters. But in PowerPoint, typically if it's one or two words, or if it's what you're trying to put across, give it a capital or give it all capitals, because again, this is a visual. It's a presentation. It's a PowerPoint presentation. It's visual. So that's a little secret, is go ahead and capitalize both words if it's if it's what you're trying to get across. Now I put today's projects, so then I'm just going to click off that box. I can go anywhere on that screen, or I can just go to the side here, not over here, but just to the side, and I can left click, and it takes me out of that box. And there you go. The first slide is done. And so how do I get to the next slide? Well, I can do it one of two ways. I can click with my left mouse. I can just go over here to the left side where they're all listed. See, I'm just moving up and down, and when it highlights it around like that, then I can click on it with my left mouse, and it's going to give me my next slide. Or I'm just going to go back where I was, or I can just use my arrow down button, and it's going to take me to my next slide. So next slide, arrow down button. There's the next slide. Now you see it's highlighted in orange. So, and I can still go to other slides. You know, I'm not stuck in there. I just wanted to show you two shortcuts of how to open a slide. So this one, it's already put the words in here. As far as a text box, it's telling me all the things I can do in this slide to make it work. Or I don't have to use any of this. I can delete all this and use my own imagination. But for right now, just for the sake of a 1-hour webinar, we're gonna just use what they gave us. So title and content layout with list. So basically they're telling us you can put the title back in here, or you can put what you're doing in here. So we called this today's projects, and see where I have my cursor right there at the end. Now again, I can backspace, or I can take the left side of them, hold down the left button on my mouse and just drag it across. Well, I didn't get it all the way. Or I can just double click, it'll give me just one word. And if I triple click, see, I'm off of it, I'm back in it, and if I triple click, 1, 2, 3, it highlights everything. Just a quick shortcut. Now I can type. Anytime it's got that dark gray or a darker box around it, that's just telling me that I'm gonna delete whatever's there and I'm gonna be typing over it. So this was called today's projects, right? I think it should be today's projects, right? Like that. I don't think I did that on the first screen, so I've just caught an error that I made. So now I'm going to arrow up and look at it and say, yeah, I forgot to put that apostrophe there. So I can just click on it, just put my cursor over it. I click on where I want to put that apostrophe S, and that's all I have to do. And then just go over here, left click off, voila, I fixed it. Now I can go back, I just arrow down to my next slide, and that's where I just put that new message in there, and it's already laid it out for me. So right here, if I want to add a bullet, these are bullets. These are what's called bullets. These can be numbers, or these can be bullets, or you can just take them out altogether. Where do you find bullets and numbers? They're just like any other Microsoft product or program. They're always located right up in here on I'm on the home tab, and of course you got all this about your fonts, but right here this is about positioning. This is all about positioning the words inside your text box. This is what this area is all about. So this is where the bullets are, and there's always a drop down menu. So if you hit that arrow and you left click, it's going to give you a drop down menu, and you can change your text box, or you can change your bullets. I like to use arrows and check marks a lot. So see how it works? So, but right now we'll just leave it as this. So I'm not going to do anything. Or you can remove them. If you hit the none, it just totally takes them out. See, I have these now, but if I want none, I just click that. So if you want it all to be removed, then you've got to dark shadow all of them. So, but we'll just leave it alone, since they already were so nice to custom design this PowerPoint for me. Okay, remember what I said. You could go to the end of the sentence and you can backspace, or you can just hover over the word and you can just double click and it'll give you just that word that you can remove, or you can hover over the whole sentence and triple click, and there it is. It put it in dark gray. So today's projects, let's say the first one is rake. Whoop. Let's not say rake, let's call it see how I just backspace, but I didn't eliminate the bullet. Let's say gather tools. Okay, so we gathered tools, and then I want to go to the next one. Again, triple click, and it takes it away where you can type, and then we're going to say need gloves, right? Right? So you gather tool, you need your gloves, and I'm just hovering over the next one. I double click, so it just did that word, but if I triple click, it takes it all. And in my target, front yard. All right, and if I want to add another line, simply just hit the enter button and it will give me a bullet right there, and I can write whatever I want in there. So target front yard, and how about clean gutters? Our favorite thing to do. Not really. So you can add as many as you want, but we're just going to go with those. Now, what if I wanted to number that? So pretty simple to do. Go up here to your first one where the gather, the G, you just go hover right over in front of it, hold down the left mouse, drag over all of it, and then go up to your bullets. And now I want a number, so I just clicked on the number, and I can number them. I can do A, B, C, D. I can do Roman, whatever I want, but I'm just going to do that. So I just clicked on it, left mouse, click, and it gave me the numbers. Now I click out of the box, and there it is. And another feature I could do, if the box is open, you can shape this box to any size you want. See, I just grabbed the corner of it. I don't know if you saw that. My cursor's over here. I just took the corner right here. See, I got a double arrow. On the side, I would get a double arrow. Top, I'd get a double arrow. So basically, I just grab the side, hold my left mouse down, and you just drag that box up because that's as big as the box is going to get. I'm just holding down the left mouse and I'm just dragging. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. That's a good box around it. So I'm going to let go of my left side of my mouse, the button, and okay, now I'm just a normal text box, right? And if I click off of it, that box is going to disappear, right? But I want to put a box there. So I'm going to click back on it. You can do it anywhere inside there. I click back on it, and I'm going to show you a cool feature right here. So right there, I go up here to the Format tab. This is where you make the magic happen in PowerPoint. You go to Format, and I'm going to click Format with my left mouse, and right there it gives me a lot of features I can do just with that box. Okay, and one of the cool features is simply I just go over here and I can put a different colored box all the way around it. Now if it's not showing me all the colors I want, again, you just go to those arrows and you left click, and it shows you a whole bunch of different boxes. See what I'm saying? You just hover over what you want, and it's a quick, easy way to put a colored box behind your font. So, make sense? Alright, I kind of like that one, so I'm going to single left click, and it put it right there. Now what if I didn't want the inside of it colored? Well, then you use these right here. This is called Shape Fill. This is Shape Outline. And this is Shape Effects. This is where you can have a lot of fun in your presentation to make it pop. So let's hover over Shape Fill. Again, there's an arrow. I want a drop down box. So I'm going to hit that arrow with my left side of my mouse, and it's going to give me all the colors I can make that box. Or I can custom choose it right there. Or if I want no fill, then I hit that no fill button. And if I want to put a picture there, then I would go into that. But there's lots of features to it. Oh, you saw that. So that's just giving wood grain. See, I can make it look like marble, stone. There's the wood. So pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, there's a rock. And there's a fish. So, alright, but I like it the way it is, so I'm going to leave it alone. So how do I get out of it? You just go to where there's no box, or you go outside your slide and you left click and it goes away. If you want to change the outside color or shape, then you go to this one, Shape Outline, and you single left click, and again, it will just change the color of the outline, not the inside. You see how I got it green, a lighter green. If you went yellow, it would probably disappear. Then you go red, it'll really pop. But I like it the way it is, so I'm going to leave that. And if you want the box to look heavier, it's called weight. So once you hover over weight, it's going to give you the different ones, and it's telling me right now it's at 1 point. But if I want to go thicker, see, I'm just hovering over it, and in the box right there, it is already making it thicker. Now, is it going to stay? No, because I haven't chosen it. I haven't left click on it. So if I left click on 6 point, then it makes it thicker. But I had to choose it. Alright, so I'm done with this one. and I'm just going to, outside the box, I'm just going to left click and it settles it. Now let's say I wanted to do this one. What if I wanted to actually customize this one to make it look a little better? Well, one thing I think I might want to do is shorten the box a little bit. So you go up here, or you can go down here, and you want to shorten the box. You just raising the box. All right, I kind of like that. You just hold your left click down using those arrows, and you can drag it. I can, if I have the 4 squares, you got to be on that line to get the four arrows, and then you hold your left mouse down and you can drag it anywhere you want. But I like where it's at, so I'm going to leave it there. But let's say I accidentally moved it. I accidentally moved it just like that. Uh-oh, what do? I don't know. I really liked where it was. Well, you just go up here to the top of your screen, and you see this little curved arrow? Well, basically, if you'll left click on it one time, it moved it right back to where it was. If you think, well, that's not it, maybe there's one more, just left click again, and it moved it back before I changed it, before I shortened the box. But I'm saying, no, that's the one I want. Then go to this arrow, and it moved it back. So that's basically it. Now let's say I want to color this box. All right, well, let's go back into here, and let's choose something we like. I'm thinking green. Green's always good with yellow, and it's a yellow. See how it changes the color too of the letters? The darker you go, it'll give you a white letter, and the lighter you go, it'll give you the darker letter. So, all right, so we're gonna go with this. But I haven't chosen it. I have to left click, and there it is. Now, this one I think should look a little different. So I'm back up. I'm still in format, and I'm back up here. And I'm thinking this should be a little different. This is called shape effect. And you hover over that arrow, left click, it gives me that drop down menu. Right now this is where it's at. But look, I can do all kinds of things with that box. You seeing what I'm doing? Okay, as I hover over them, it changes that box. Now, I really don't want anything like that. You know, this one was kind of cool. And see, this one gives you like a 3D effect. So let's choose this one. So I'm left clicking, and there it is. And see how it gave it kind of like a box look, like a raised look, and it put a little highlight in there of some white. Really gave it a good look. So just a little shortcut on how to do that. You can change the color of your fonts. How do you do that? Just remember, triple click, and it gives you this box right here. And in that box, you just go to where the little colored font color is. You click that arrow next to it, and that gives you all the choices to change. See, we can go yellow, we can go blue, orange. So whatever you want. You can make it match the box below sometimes, but just be careful because it can get hidden in there real quick. So, but I like the way it was, so I'm just going to go over here and left click, and it takes me right back out of it, and we're going to leave it alone. Now, what's another feature we can do with this? Over here, this kind of manipulates the text. So this is where you change the color of the text. This is where you would change the outline color of the text, which we have none. And this is where you can 3D the text, or you can add a shadow to it. You can add a reflection to it, a glow to it. And I'll do one of these for you in a little bit. Just kind of wanted to show you what was there. So another thing you can do is when you double clicked on it, triple clicked on it, you can actually center it in the box. And if you decide, no, I don't want to do that, then you can just go up here to the undo button and move it back. And then just click out of the box. So there's the basics of putting text box inside a presentation. Now, this next slide, I'm just using the arrow down key because I'm over here now. And I'm going to go to the next slide. There's a graft. I'm not going to mess too much with it other than I just wanted to show you how you can manipulate a graft. So basically, see right here, we have a drawing of a graft, and someone just drew this based on the categories. They put the numbers in and all that. But if I wanted to move things around, like it wasn't exactly hitting just right on the graft, you basically can, well, this one may not let me, but you basically would grab one of these and move it around. But this has got some kind of formula in it. So, but we're not going to mess with that today because that'll take a long time. You can also do a chart within it, and you can do bullet points. This is just an example. And anytime you don't want a slide, anytime you've created a slide, whatever it is, and you say, no, I don't want that in my presentation. If you'll just right click on that slide, then it's going to give you this drop down menu. Now you can cut, copy, you can do new slide, all that. You can duplicate a slide. If I left clicked on that slide and I hit duplicate, it just did the identical slide once again right below it. And then I could grab a hold of that and left click, hold down. I can move that slide to a different place within my presentation. So this is just placement of when it would come up. And then when you think, oh yeah, that's where I want it, then just let go of your left button on your mouse and it sets it right there. Okay? But then I come back and I decide, no, I really don't want that slide at all. Then right click on your mouse and it gives me that menu again, and you just simply hit delete and it deleted it. So, and it gave me the next slide. So there's the slide we created. Now I'm going to use my arrow down buttons. There's the chart. Here's a table. Okay, here's another one. This is where you can group things. This is called Smart Art. Smart Art is located right here on the, I'm up here on the tab, so it's File, Home, and then Insert. Smart Art is located right here. And this is pretty cool because you can, I just clicked on it to show you. I just single left clicked on it to show you the different types of smart art you can put in. And then it gives you an example. It gives you a little description of it. They're a little time consuming, but they do really make a powerful point if you have a lot of items to list, or you need to, it's kind of like guiding your participants on your message here. So you would actually put in what you're trying to say here, and what benefits or is not benefited by it. It's just, you do pyramids. Everybody's seen the food pyramid. That's basically how they created it. So you can actually put a picture in. I don't use these a lot, but sometimes I do. I've used this one quite a bit when I'm showing like a chain of command or how something is processed. You've seen this one a lot, probably in textbooks. So it's just a cool way to show how one thing's related to another. That's basically Smart Art. So I'm just going to hit cancel right here. But Smart Art is located in your Insert tab, and then you just go Smart Art. There's also a Chart tab. You can do that. I don't use apps for Office, so but you can put something off the web that you use in there. So, and then you can do shapes. So I'm going to single click on a shape right here, and here's all the different shapes you can put inside your slide. So like if I wanted this shape right here, I just hover over it with my cursor, click it with my left mouse. Okay, see, I got this little square. I'm just moving it around. I'm not drawing anything yet. So if I wanted to draw that smiley face, hold my left mouse down and see it put me a little dot, and then all of a sudden I'm dragging it, I'm dragging it, I'm dragging it to the size I want, to the shape I want. I made it skinny, made it wider, whatever you want. When you're done with the shape, just let go of the mouse and put it right in there. And then you can color it. I'm back up in format and I can color it. So if I open this, so now I can color that smiley face that I just put in there. Pretty simple stuff. Alright, and then if you decide, no, I really don't want that, if the box is around it, you basically can either right click, and it's going to give you that drop down menu, and you can hit delete. Nope, you can't hit delete on this one. You can hit edit points, you can cut it. Cut would be the delete. When you use cut though, it puts it into your clipboard. So easiest way to do it is if you have it open right there, just hit the delete button and it took it right away. Anytime you want to get rid of something. Now you can always go up here and hit your undo and it put it right back if you changed your mind. So, but we're going to delete it. I just wanted to show you that feature. And all those images you can find in your home screen, on your home tab. You can find them right here by default. And then there's the drop down. You just use the little arrow for the drop down. But you can draw squigglies. Alright, I'm just hitting the delete button. You can do your arrows. I use a lot of arrows. You can shape them any way you want. And then you're just holding down the left side of your mouse and you're dragging to get it. And then let go. And you say, oh, I want to change it some more. Well, it's pretty easy to change. Remember I told you there's a little button here. There's a little square right here. So you can hit that little square. It's yellow. And look, I just extended the arrow. I'm just holding down the left side of my mouse and I'm dragging it back and forth to get the look I want. And then just let go. Same thing with the width. I found this little yellow square over here and I'm just dragging it closer or further away and then just let go. Now if you want it stubbier, then you just drag it in. Remember those little arrows, those two-headed arrows? So you can do the whole image. So again, hold down the left side of your mouse and drag. And this little whirly thing right here, rotate. So when you're over it, you get it in dark black. Hold down the left side of your mouse and you can twist it. So made a tree. So that's basically the things you can do with all those different symbols. Again, I'm going to delete this, but I just wanted to show you some of the features that you can use within the shapes. Lots of them. I use the cloud quite a bit, but if you need to do a ribbon, I just clicked on the ribbon one. Okay, I've got my little square right there. Now I'm just going to hold it and I'm going to drag. Hold my left mouse down and I'm just dragging, 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 and boom, I've got a ribbon. Now I want to reshape it a little bit to meet my needs. Get the yellow box. See the yellow box I'm hovering over right here? And you just push it in and it gives you a whole different effect. Isn't that cool? Whole different effect. So I kind of like that. Now this one will shape this line right here. I want it to be a little broader so I can put some words in it. You just hold the left side down and you just drag it to where you want it. I like that. And this one here, we'll do a shape again. And then you say, oh, I messed up. I really wanted it to look a little different. Just go up here and hit your undo and it'll change it. See? Or redo. Put it back where it was. So if you wanted to do a text inside that ribbon, it is so simple to do. Basically, go up here to this box. I'm on the home screen, or you can be on the insert. I'm on the home tab or the insert tab. Either one of them works. So if you're on the insert tab, you just go right here to where it says text box, and you'd single click it. If you were on the home tab, then you'd have to open this up, or look for that little icon right there. See that little icon? Has an A with a bunch of around by a square. That's how you would do it. So I'm going to go to insert. I'm going to click text box, single click left, and then I'm going to click on my image, and I'm going to be able to type right in there. See that? That's just pretty cool. And you can put spaces. You can change your font. How do I change my font? Triple click. There it is. And then you just use this drop down menu, and you can change your font to whatever you want. It does it automatically as you're watching it. So I'm just going over the font. You can use your up and down arrow keys, or you can drag over the font. Pretty simple. So I use this rounded quite a bit. So Arial is pretty universal. Sometimes you use the really crazy ones. People just can't read them. Let's see, that's a crazy one. It's hard to read. So I try not to use those. And then you can just use your slide bar here if you want to choose something different. So I use this one a lot because it looks like my handwriting. Cooper Black is also popular. So once you choose one, just single click on it and then click off of the box. Oh, I'm going all over the place. Click off the box and there it is. So pretty simple stuff. If I wanted to arch that the way it would match the ribbon, then again click on it, triple click. Now I'm going to go up to Format tab, top of the screen, and from there I'm going to go to Text, and I'm going to Text Effect. There's a little arrow. I'm going to single click, and then I'm going to go all the way to the bottom where it says Transform. And this is a cool feature because right here is where you can kind of make it flow. So I'm moving my cursor. I'm not pushing any buttons. I'm just moving my cursor, and look, as I hover over them, it's giving me the different shapes. Not all of them will work out, but some of them work out great, and some of them don't fit my image. Some are too big. That's kind of giving it to me. All right. Too distorted, too one-sided. But you just drag over till you get the look you want. See? Pretty simple. But up here, let's see, where was that curve? That curve was right there. Okay, so that's kind of the curve I'm wanting. It doesn't look exactly right now, so I'm going to have to go in and kind of change it. But that's giving me basically what I wanted. So I'm going to single left click on it because I've selected it. Okay, see it's in dark gray, which means I'm working on it. And see I've got those little bitty yellow squares. This is where you can change that arch. So hold your left mouse down. Oh, I'm changing my ribbon. I want to change my... Oh, it's not going to let me change it. Well, I just learned something. If I wasn't in the box, I could change that font. So we're going to just have to choose something a little more. So that one works, right? But it looks a little small. So maybe I'll make it bigger. And maybe I'll just add a space in front of it. So you can just manipulate it however you want. So, And when I'm done with it, I can hit delete, or I can just leave it. And remember, in all this, they're just leading you. You don't have to keep any of this stuff I'm doing right here. They're just leading you, and you can shorten them. Shorten that box and put a box around it like we did before. Or you can delete, or you can just triple type on it and start writing your word. Whoop. See? You can do anything you want in here. Sky's the limit. If you just want to change the color of the font, you can open that and change that. So you can make your fonts different colors so that you drive the point across. Anything you want. Sky's the limit in PowerPoint. So I hope I had that, made that a little self-explanatory for you. So I'm going to click down to the next slide. And here, they're just asking you to put a title here. Normally you use these kind of slides as a transition slide, and what I mean there is that you're moving into a next portion of your presentation. So we did today's projects. This one's going to be tomorrow. Whoop, I keep forgetting to put that apostrophe. Tomorrow's projects. And then here you'd put in things to do. Whoop. I don't spell so good. So you can do anything you want. You can make them any color you want. But it's normally you do a slide that looks like this as a transition slide. Maybe you want to add a picture to it. Really simple to do. Just go up here to the Insert tab. It's right next to the Home tab, and single click on it, and you can add any kind of picture you want. So you can go photo album, or you can go screenshot, online pictures. Online pictures is where you can pull a lot of stuff that Microsoft already has, or it's not going to load because I'm having some internet problems. So I'll just click off of that. But I always have some stuff I've put on my computer. And remember what I was talking about? This is my computer, and these are my files. This is my desktop. And then within my desktop, I'm going to go right here, computer. That's me, Patti Mitchell. And then I go into my desktop. That's the big folder. And then graphics is the next folder I put in there. And then this is the graphics. These are all files that are logged inside that folder right there. So with that, I've got lots of images, see? So you pick an image and you think, yeah, I like this one. So you can do one of two things. You can single click, and then you can hit Insert, or you can just double click on it, find the one you want, and then just double click on it. It'll put it right in your slide. Pretty simple to do. Now see, I've got the 4 arrows because it's got the boxes around it. I can tilt it. I can rotate it if I chose to, but I'm not going to rotate it. I'm going to move it. Alright, so I'm left side down on the mouse. I'm pulling it over here because I like it right there. And then I'm going to enlarge it. So I'm grabbing a corner, holding the left mouse down, and I'm just dragging it, making it bigger. Ah, I like that. Alright, so but what's with this box that's around it? I want to get rid of that box. Okay, there's 2 ways to get rid of it. Now this only works if you have a solid background. Let me say it again. This only works if you have a solid background. Okay, so I'm in that box because I got the little squares all the way around it. That tells me this is where I'm working. Now, I'm in Format tab. So if you go over here in the Format tab, see this? It says Color. This is a cool feature to use. See that little arrow right there? Just left click on that arrow. It's going to bring you up all kinds of different colors of your image. So it's changing as I hover over it. It's changing my image. But it's not removing that background. I like my image. I just don't, and I like the color. I just don't want that white box in there. So real simple thing to do. See right here where it says Set Transparent Color? Single left click on that, and it's going to give me a tool. See this little tool it gave me? Now I'm going over here. I'm inside the box, and I'm going to single left click on the color I want gone. It took it away, just like that. Now, be careful, because it will also take away stuff on the inside if it matches it identically in color. So this one didn't exactly work the way I wanted it. How do I fix that? It's pretty simple. Remember I said there was two ways to remove that white box. So I'm going to undo what I just did. I could have left it, but I'm going to undo it because I want to show you the other way to remove that white box, but leave the eyes and the teeth white. So I'm in the Format tab, and then I go over here where it says Remove Background, and I'm going to let the computer do the work. So I'm going to click on, single left click on that, and I'm moving back over to my image. Now see, it's only got part of my image showing, and then everything else is like in this crazy purple. So everything in purple is not going to be saved. So I got my little arrows, and I'm just left dragging, holding the left side down, dragging, making it bigger, because I want to capture that part of the image. Over here, I got arrows, and I want to capture this part of the image. So I just hold the left key down, left side of the mouse down, drag, and right here, I want to capture the bottom part of my image, holding the left side of the mouse down, drag, and that did it. Now, sometimes you got to look inside and make sure it didn't eliminate something here. Now, you could eliminate it, like if I wanted to make the teeth clear, then I'd go over here. I'm in the top left corner. I'd go over here and mark areas to remove. You left click, that gives me that tool, and I could actually click on it, drag it. See how it's putting the purple in there? That's eliminating that. But I changed my mind and I want to disregard all them changes. I could click this, but it's also going to disregard everything I also did. So let's just delete those marks. So I'm going to left click on this. I'm in the top left hand corner, and I'm going back over to my image, and I'm just going to go over that little arrow right there. See that little arrow with the circle around? I mean a line with the circle around it. And I'm going to single click left side mouse, and it's going to remove it. And I'm going to do it on this one. It's going to remove it, and I'm going to do it on this one, and voila, it took it back to a normal. Alright, so I should just have my image now without the ugly white square background. So with that, I just go anywhere on the screen and single left click, and there's my image. It's that simple. It really is. It gave me a 3D look. So just something fun to do. You can put pictures anywhere inside of PowerPoint. That's what's fun about it. And as long as you got those 4 arrows like I have right there with my cursor, and I hold the left side of my mouse down, I can drag it anywhere I want. So I can put it right there in the middle, whatever I want. Now, in PowerPoint you have what's called layers. Layers are basically just like a book. One page covers the next, right? That's a layer. You have layer of pages. So with this, I have layer of images. So if I put this image over my things to do, then it covers it up. You see I drug it over because it's on top. But if I wanted it to be behind it, you basically, I'm in the Format tab, you basically go up here and you see Bring Forward, Send Backwards. You use those two. You can click on the little arrow and have different features, but basically I just want to send it backwards. So single left click, because this is what I'm choosing, send backwards. Single left click. You see how the words are now in front. They're the top layer of my image. Just something to know. Now if I wanted to send it behind this, then I'd keep sending it backwards. Well, this one won't work, but it can be the front or it can be the back. If they're not overlapping each other, then it doesn't matter. If they never touch each other, then it doesn't matter which one's on front. So I hope that was helpful to you. Understand how layers work. So, and you can always tilt, rotate, do anything you want there. Make it fun. You can stretch them, make them shorter, whatever you want. So, well, I hope that's been kind of self-explanatory on how to do a PowerPoint, how to review it, how to do a transition. I promised I'd show you that, so I'm going to get down to that now. So now I am in the Transition tab. It goes Home, Insert, Design, and then Transition. So I'm going to single click on Transition, and that's what's going to give me how one slide, these are the slides over here on the left. Now I get to pick how I want it to open for the next slide. So there's lots of choices, and you can just hover over them and single click, and it'll give you an example. You just single click over them and it gives you an example. Okay. Something cool to play with. I like to fall over if I use it. And you can mix and match them for different slides. Like this slide may have this and the next slide may have this. Or you can apply it to all. Right here's apply to all. Simple to do. You just hit the apply to all if that's the one you want, and it will put it between every single slide. So every single slide will open that way. You can also do it on demand of click. Every time you click the mouse or every time you click your up and down arrows, that's called demand on click. Or you can just set it after so many minutes or seconds. You want it to go to the next slide, and it will do it automatically for you. If you choose the minutes to automatically do it, make sure you unclick the on mouse click. Just make sure you unclick that. You can also set how fast it's going to do. This is called duration. This right now is at 6 minutes. You can, and you can do it faster, slower, whatever you want. You can add sounds to it. So you can do since it's a curtain, you can add sounds and you'll get an applause. So I hope you heard that applause. Just something fun to do. You can open a presentation that way. There's other sounds that you could do. Do the drum roll. So this is something that the older PowerPoints don't have. The older programs, 13 and 16, definitely has it. You can apply it to all, but I wouldn't recommend applying the sound to all. So, all right, with that, we're just going to put in something. Oh, and there's lots of others to choose from. You just go to this arrow right here, and you single click, and it's going to give you so many choices. So, lots of fun things to do. See? All right, so we're going to get rid of that drum roll. So I'm going to click no sound, and I'm going to, I kind of like that fracture, so we're going to do that one, and I'm going to apply it to all. See right there? I applied it to every single one of them. Is going to open that way, transition, and then I'm going to leave it on the mouse click. I'm going to leave it on the mouse click. So next one is about animation. Now animation is where you can make things fly in and fly out. You've seen this on sales presentations, I bet, quite a bit. So so I'm choosing tomorrow's project, and this up here is telling me, now I'm in the animation tab that's right next to transition. So this is telling me how I can bring those words in. That one wasn't a very good. Let's do fly in. See how it brought it in, flowed in. Oh, you just basically can pick something. All right, we like that one. Now what's cool about this is you can leave it on click, or you can do in sequence, however you want. So I usually do it after previous, so that way one thing happens, then the next thing happens, because as I'm going to show you, everything has a number. So let's do it not on click, but after previous. We've got a duration there of time. All right, so now I'm going to give the next one, and that's going to be things to do, and I'm going to give it a bounce. All right, And again, I'm going over here to the start, on click, and I'm going to remove the on click and go after previous. All right. And then this one's going to come in and it's going to swirl. All right. Now I can make it last longer if I want. You just hit right here and on duration, you just add what you want and it'll go longer. Now I want that to do after previous also. So that's what we're going to do. You can set other kind of timings if you want. You can move them around, whatever you want on that. So over here on the far left, underneath the word file, now I'm still in the tab of animations, but under the word file is what's called preview. And that's where you can see what's going to happen. So let's see how this looks with animation. That was it. Just that simple. You want to see it again? Here we go. So it's fun to do. If you want to see all the animation, just go right here to this drop down menu where it says more, and it'll show you all the stuff you can do. So you can do entrance, you can do emphasis, and you can do exit. And you can also make it follow certain paths. So lots of fun to do, very time consuming though. So we're not going to do more than this. I just wanted to give you an example of how to do it. So I'm going to get out of this drop down box. So I'm just going to click anywhere on my presentation with my left mouse and it takes me right out. Now see, it gives me little boxes here of when these are going to come up. Sometimes they're numbered and sometimes they're just like this. So, and you can click on them, right click on them. No, 13's different. You have to go to a different trigger. So you just go to the animation pane right here and it'll show you over here on the side what's in order, how long they're going to last, and you can move them around this way. So just play with it a little bit. You'll become very familiar with it. I'm going to hit this X right here to close this out just so it's not in our way. So fun things to do with animation. And with that, I want to show you one last time 2 more secrets. And one is in the review tab. Now I've skipped the slideshow and I've gone to the review tab. So I'm going to single click review tab with my left mouse. Very important right here. Go over here to the spelling check mark and click it with your left mouse and just do a quick spell check. It tells me I'm good to go, but I'm a terrible speller or I just have overlooked putting an H in or an E in somewhere. So I always just, before I save anything, before I present or send anything, I just always put that check mark. I just do a spell check. So I did it. I'm good to go. It's telling me. So single click on the OK or on the X. Either one will work. And it takes me back out. Now, I told you we'd work a little bit on how to save it. So I'm in the File tab. I'm going to single click on File tab. And remember, it gives me this drop down menu on the side here. Don't worry too much about all this. We're not going to protect anything. We're not going to inspect anything. That's more advanced. We're not doing anything like that. And remember, we opened up our new right there, and we could open up our old projects right there. And I told you if you hit save, it's just going to save it in the PowerPoint on your computer. But I always like to do a save as. So with the save as, I'm going to single click left, and it's going to open that page right there. And it's telling me I can put it in my computer, which, yes, that's where I want it. And then it's going to tell me I can put it in any of these folders that I've already created. Now, your thumb drive would normally show up right here under the F, but I don't have one in right now. And I just did one on leadership development, so I'm not going to put it in there. So typically, I would put it in under a its own folder because it's new. So I'm going to go desktop because I want to be able to find it early, but I could go my documents, which you probably will do. So we're going to click on my documents. We're going my computer. We're in the save as computer, my documents. I'm going to single left click. Okay, now I'm inside the file cabinet of my computer. All right, and I'm in my documents. See, I told you right here it says new folder. So I'm going to single click left click on that word, new, on the two words, new folder. It's a tab, and it's going to open a box right there in blue. Now, as long as it's in blue, I can type right in it. So I'm going to put sample webinar PPT. Whoop. That PPT is shortcut for PowerPoint. So that's telling me what this is. Now, as soon as I click off of this, anywhere in that box, left click, it saved it. There it is right there. Now, I want to put this PowerPoint in that folder. So I'm going to double click that folder. When I double click that folder, it moved it up here. So I'm in my computer, I'm in my documents, and this is the folder, the new folder I created, Sample Webinar PowerPoint. I'm in the top left of the screen. That's where my cursor's at. Alright, I have nothing in there right now because I haven't put anything in there. But this one's called Fall Fun. Remember, by default, it's a PowerPoint presentation. If I was to choose the drop down, it would give me other choices, but I'm just doing it as default. And there's my title. I could change my title. I could do Fall Fun. And remember I said when I'm working on it, I always give it a number. So, and then I just hit save right here. Hit save. Left click, save. And now my title's showing right up here. That's where it's at in my computer, in that folder. So, simple way to do it. If you want to save it as a PDF like we talked about, I'll show you real quick. You go to the File tab again, left click, go to the Save As, left click, go to My Computer, left click, and then find it again. Alright, so we're going right here to my documents, left click, or I could just go to the sample webinar PPT. So that's what I'm going to do. Left click. Alright, there it is. Alright, I could change just the number. I could backspace and put a different number there. Or I could leave it as that same number. Okay, because what I'm doing now is I'm changing it to a PDF. So in the drop down menu, I'm going over here to PDF. See, it's in dark blue. Single left click. Okay, now I hit save. It's publishing it to a PDF. That doesn't mean it's publishing it on the web. It's just publishing it to a PDF. And now it's going to open it up. Now you need Acrobat or Adobe Acrobat Reader for this. But it basically put all of my PowerPoint saved as a PDF with that title name right there. Now I can print from here. And I can email from here. Or I can scroll through. It's about 12 pages. So I can just scroll through, or I can do it like this and scroll through. Okay, you can use your arrow down keys, scroll through. This is a great way to share with someone. So, alright, so I'm just going to close this. I'm going to hit that big orange X right there and left click. That closes it. I didn't change anything here. It's just how I saved it so that I could use it. Alright, so finally we're at the slideshow. We've saved it, we've checked the spelling, we've done some cool things in it. So you could change the design if you went to the design tab. You could see what it looks like in other designs simply by holding your cursor, not clicking, just holding your cursor over different examples, and it will change it. I haven't selected anything. I'm just playing. See? You can give it a whole new look, whatever you want. It's lots of cool things to do. But I'm going to leave it alone because I kind of liked it. So now I'm going to go to, if you chose one of them, you would just left click on it and it would select it and it would convert the whole thing. So, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go slideshow right here. It's a tab right in between animation and review. I go right there. I left click. And from here, I can record, I can rehearse, I can hide slides. I can do a lot of things right in here. I don't do a lot with that because mainly I'm doing it as a presentation. But just play around with the different ones. It'll show you how to do it. But right here, it's going to walk us through the whole slide as a full screenshot as I was having it just like on a projector. So this is where you want to go when you're showing it to your audience. So left click on beginning, from beginning. And remember, we put a transition in there, so we had that broken screen. We could have had sounds in there. Okay, from here, you can use your mouse if you want. You can use a remote clicker if you want to go through the slides. I'm just going to use my up and down keys because I'm sitting at a computer. So I'm using the down key. And here we go. We're just transitioning through each slide. Remember that slide we created? So simple to do. So there's the chart. There's the table. There's the smart art. Now I could have taken the transition off where I wouldn't have that in between each. That's always easy to do. So, and there's the animation that we created. So I hope that was informative to you. When you're ready to get out of your full screen PowerPoint, simply go up to the top left of your keyboard, hit escape, and it'll take you back to where you're working. Another feature on PowerPoint and all the Microsoft programs is in the bottom right of your screen will be a zoom bar. I use that quite a bit because I want to know if the people sitting in the back of the room can see what's up on the screen. So if you just click on that little arrow and you put it far away from you, that's what they would probably look like if they were in the back of the room. Can they still read it? That's always something I look at. So, but just a little tip that I use to make sure that everybody in the room can see it. You can scroll up and down this way to different slides. That's a little scroll bar over here. Just hold your left side down on your mouse. You can put notes in if you want. There's all kinds of features to this. So other than that, I think we pretty well covered PowerPoint, at least the basics on how to get one done. Again, it's just trial and error, picking out what you want. I'm going to go ahead and close this one. So, and it's asking me, do I want to save it again? I can hit save. And it'll save all the changes I just made, if I made any, or I can just hit don't save because I don't want any changes done. So pretty simple stuff. PowerPoint is a lot of fun, like I said. I really appreciate having this opportunity to do this webinar for the Technology Thursday today, April 13th. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give me an email or a call here at CCO, or any of us, Brad and Chris also. We're always eager to help you guys out in your communities. And again, I hope you get into PowerPoint and you really get to get excited about it like I am, because it's such a fun program to play, and it really will advance your skills, your computer skills, if you can learn some of these tips and tricks that PowerPoint does. So. But with that, I also want to remind you that we have our I'm Learning Leadership Series. It's coming up here real quick on April 25th. And that's going to be with Chris Welch. He's going to do public speaking. We have these once a month. Usually it is always the last Tuesday of the month, just so you know. Mark it on your calendar. It's always a different topic. We rotate who's presenting on this, but this time it's going to be public speaking with Chris Welch. And it's going to be at 10 a.m., and it lasts about 2 hours, and then we're going to do it again at 6 p.m. If you can't make the morning session, again about 2 hours. We do feed you. It's not a full meal, but it's a good meal, and it's a good time to get together, meet each other, and learn something. So I'm learning our leadership series. I hope you can make it, and it's located right behind the gift shop at the restaurant for the Cherokees. The gift shop's right next door, and there's a training room right in the back. If you haven't been to it, just go around the back of the building and you'll see where we're at. There's a little meet and greet sign-in table, and we'll have some food and drinks ready for you. So please join us 10 a.m. or 6 p.m. Come early, stay late. Always like that. So really appreciate your time. If you haven't met me yet, my name is Patti Mitchell. I am the newest training assistant or technical assistant specialist here at Community and Culture outreach for the Cherokee Nation. I am a enrolled member of the Cherokee Nation. Terrific opportunity here to work for my own tribe. I'm really enjoying it. So I hope to get to do more webinars with you, and I hope it was informative for you also. With that, I thank you very, very much. What a